I didn't walk into that restaurant planning to make a statement or prove anything or teach anyone a lesson. I walked in because my kids were hungry, because it was cold outside, and because for one night I wanted them to feel like the world wasn't always pushing us toward the exit. That was it. That was the whole dream. And somehow just ordering water turned me into the villain of the room. My name's Marcus Reed. I'm a single dad. 2 kids. No safety net. The kind of tired that doesn't go away with sleep. If you've lived it, you know what I mean. If you haven't, it's hard to explain. It settles into your shoulders, your voice, the way you stand in line at a register already bracing for bad news. That night, my daughter Lila was holding my hand like she always did when she felt small, and my son Jonah had his beat-up dinosaur tucked under his arm, missing an eye but still his favorite thing in the world. We stepped into this high-end place downtown called Maison Row. All glass and soft lighting and people who smelled like money. White tablecloths, low music servers who moved like they were floating. I hesitated at the door for half a second, long enough to feel everyone clock us, then I walked in anyway. I wasn't going to teach my kids to back away just because a place looked expensive. We got seated in the corner, the table no one wants, right by the kitchen doors. That was fine. I opened the menu and already knew the numbers were going to hurt. $40 for soup. $70 for chicken. A steak that cost more than my electric bill. Lila leaned over and whispered, "Daddy, this place is fancy." Jonah nodded like he agreed with her on a spiritual level. I did the math in my head, the same math I always do. Rent, groceries, gas, what was left in my wallet? Not enough. Not even close. So when the server came back smiling tight pen ready, I said it as calmly as I could. "Can we start with 3 glasses of water, please?" There was a pause. Not a long one, but long enough. He nodded and walked off. My kids didn't complain. They never do. That's the part that gets you. They learn early. Lila smiled and said, "Water means the meal's starting right. Her mom used to say that." I swallowed and nodded. Then the manager showed up. His name was Grant Holloway. Tall, sharp suit smile that never reached his eyes. He looked at the table at my kids at me and said loud enough for nearby tables to hear, "Sir, is water." "All you'll be ordering tonight." I said for now, yeah. He smiled like I'd confirmed something he already believed. "This is a dining establishment, not a shelter. Our tables are reserved for paying guests." I felt heat climb my neck. "We are paying guests. Water's on the menu." A couple people nearby laughed quietly. Phones came out. Grant leaned closer and lowered his voice, except he didn't really lower it. "There are plenty of other places better suited to your situation. I'd hate for you to feel out of place." That's when my son pressed into my side. That's when my daughter went quiet. That's when I knew I could say 1,000 things and none of them would matter. So I said nothing. I just pulled my kids closer and stayed seated. And then everything changed. A woman stood up from a table across the room. Late 50s maybe. Calm, composed, expensive without trying. She walked over like she owned the floor beneath her heels. "Is there a problem here?" she asked. Grant's entire body language shifted. "Ms. Caldwell, no, of course not. Just a misunderstanding." She didn't look at him. She looked at me. "Are you okay?" I nodded. "We're fine." She turned back to Grant. "These guests are with me now. Bring them the full menu and hot chocolate for the kids. Extra whipped cream." Grant stammered something about policy. She cut him off with 3 words that froze the room. "Handle it. Now." Her name was Evelyn Caldwell. I didn't know then that she'd built a real estate empire from nothing, or that half the city answered her calls. I just knew she sat down with us like a normal person and asked my kids their names. Leela asked if she was famous. Evelyn laughed and said, "Only to people who like paperwork." Food came. Real food. My kids ate like kids who'd been pretending they weren't hungry for too long. I tried to refuse. I really did. But Evelyn leaned in and said, "This isn't charity. I needed company tonight more than you know." So I let it happen. We talked. Not all at once. Pieces. I told her about losing my wife, about layoffs, about juggling 2 jobs and still falling behind. She didn't interrupt, didn't fix, just listened. That matters more than people realize. Then Grant made another mistake. He came back over, whispered something to a table nearby, and laughed. Evelyn saw it. She stood up again. The room went quiet. "I've eaten here for years," she said, voice steady. "And tonight I watched a father get humiliated for ordering water. If that's the culture you're running, it ends now." People stood. Glasses raised. Someone paid our bill. Someone else cried. My kids thought it was a miracle. Outside, Evelyn handed me her card. Said if I ever needed anything, call. I thanked her and started walking away when Grant followed us out, furious, mask gone. He said she fired him. Said I ruined his life. Then he said something that made my blood run cold. Hope your kids enjoy foster care when the eviction hits. The next morning, Child Services showed up. They said my housing situation was unstable. Temporary removal. Temporary. My kids screamed. I promised them I'd fix it. Then they were gone. Evelyn showed up that afternoon, face pale, jaw set. She dug into my eviction. Found fabricated reports. Buildings being flipped. Families pushed out. Her company. She hadn't known. She lost everything exposing it. Board ousted her. Meanwhile, I found the mistake they didn't think I'd notice. Wrong apartment number, wrong inspector, expired license. The whole thing collapsed. Press conference, arrests, charges. My kids came home. 6 months later, I run a community kitchen in the same building they tried to take from us. Evelyn comes by every week. Same table, same water. We raise our glasses before eating. Because water means the beginning. It means you're welcome. So let me ask you this. Was Grant wrong, or was he just saying what too many people think out loud? Was Evelyn a hero, or just someone who finally paid attention? And how many times have you seen someone judged for ordering water? Tell me in the comments. I read them all. And if this story made you feel something, share it. Because sometimes the smallest moments reveal the biggest truths. And sometimes justice starts with something as simple as staying seated when the world tells you to leave.